Hey, how you guys doing? It is me again. They do call me Kraken. We're in my workshop in Weatherford, Texas, and just wanted to come in here for a couple days. We're going to talk about this a little bit. So this is my old miter sled, or crosscut sled, whatever you want to call it. And I built this, I don't know, a little over a year ago, I guess, and it has cut a lot of end grain boards. When I built this, this all used to be outside, and I did everything outside. When I was done, I'd cover everything up with tarps, double tarped everything, and and just stored it outside. And that's how we worked for about a year and a half. This shop was too crowded at the time for me to move the saw and the planer inside. And then when my DeWalt planer broke on me, I went ahead and I bought this Cobalt. When I bought the Cobalt over here, I moved everything inside, and I'm really happy with it Cobalt. It's really been a good solid planer. And then I decided that we were going to clear out some of this shop. The place is still a disaster, but we'll get there, right? We added the wood lathe back here in the back, and then we decided we were going to move this table inside. So we built this table for it. Nothing special, it's just kind of slapped together. It's functional, and I wanted a outfeed table for my table saw. But I did not want the outfeed table to be so low that there was any real dip in the stuff that I was cutting, right? I wanted it to just enough clearance so that it wouldn't catch on anything. And a friend of mine who works for the Azle High School gifted me the floor from the Azle High School, not all of it, obviously, but the floor from the Azle High School, and this is what we built this for. It's all maple. We used it over here on this one. I've got a couple pieces still over here that we haven't stripped down yet. I got another piece over here. We're going to use it still. And everything was good. Well, I had several cutting boards for market, so I really wasn't building a lot of cutting boards. We were doing keepsake boxes and a lot of other CNC stuff. We were doing some wood turning, and we were making a lot of different projects, but we really weren't using the crosscut sled at all. And then we got this board glued up, and you might have seen it the other day if you're on my Facebook page. And we needed to cut it down to turn it into an end grain board. And so I put the crosscut sled on here, and as soon as I put it on here, I realized that I had made a pretty serious error. And that is that I did not cut the slots in the top of my table for the miter saw or the crosscut sled to ride into, and it bumped right against the edge of this table. So it set me back a little bit. I didn't think about it when I built the table, honestly, and I don't know why, because I use this thing all the time. But I didn't, and it was my fault. It just is what it is. So last night we cut the slots in here in the top of the table with a router so that we could push this all the way forward, right? And there's some things I need to rebuild the sled. The sled's old. The design's not fantastic. It's old. It's functional. It does what it needs to do. That's how a lot of my stuff is. I don't build a lot of these jigs for looks or for, anything like that. They're functional. They do what I need them to do, and that's it. So a lot of my jigs are pretty rough, like this one right here. This is my miter slot jig. So when I cut miter slots for miter splines, this is what I use, right? And it's beat up, it's old, it's raggedy. It's just a couple pieces of 2x4, right? Nothing special about it. It's another one that needs to be rebuilt because it's seen better days. And so anyway, there's some things about this that I had just kind of gotten used to. I thought that, it was just kind of a normal thing, I guess. And that was that as I was cutting cross pieces on here, I would get the sled out to about here, and half of the sled is off the table. You know, once we get through here, half the sled's off the table, and that created a lot of different effects, you know, like it may tilt forward a little bit, and so we would have this kind of movement going on here. And, you know, it was just something I'd learned to deal with. And so I'd learned to keep pressure over here and keep pressure over here while I'm pushing everything through. And I never gave it much thought. If there was anything that wasn't absolutely perfect, I cleaned it up. I got it straightened up. It wasn't that big of a deal. So in all the time that we have been running, I've never built an outfeed table, right? I've always just kind of thrown something out there for wood to fall on. I've never built a dedicated outfeed table. So this is kind of a first for me in all the years that I've been doing woodworking, and I've been doing woodworking for a long time. I've never built an outfeed table, right? So, today we put this board up here. It was a lot longer than that. It was 3 foot tall. I've still got some pieces left over here we'll use for another project. But I put the board on here and I started cutting. And I have to say, I am absolutely amazed and blown away at how much better this sled works with an outfeed table, right? Because we don't have this slop motion anymore, right? There's a little bit of support underneath the top part, and it was such a smoother experience. And I'm honestly just a little bit blown away with it. I was really surprised. Having that support on the end of the travel for the miter sled made a huge amount of difference. And this is all of the scrap. You guys, if you've been watching me for any length of time or following me on my Facebook page, you know that I absolutely hate the word scrap, right? I've said it a lot. Scrap goes in the burn pile, and if it doesn't go in the burn pile, it's not scrap, right? This can go in the burn pile. This, we probably won't put in the burn pile yet, because believe it or not, I can probably do something with that. So that won't go in the burn pile yet. Anyway, I just wanted to come and share that with you, just because it just really, really made a huge amount of difference. And so if you experience any of the issues that I experienced with the miter sled, being that when you push it outwards and you get the majority of the sled off of the table base, that you have this tilting action, which it's hard for me to demonstrate because it doesn't do it anymore. But it's nothing for it to tilt forward. And as it does that, you end up with a little slop in it. And so you've really got to be careful while you're using it and apply plenty of pressure on the backside, which makes it a little more difficult to work. And if you've experienced that, the outfeed table made a world of difference. So just something I wanted to share. Hope you guys enjoy it. We'll catch you later on. Y'all take care. Thanks for watching. Peace out.